Welcome to the Central Pennsylvania Music Podcast. Tonight, Nancy Ryan and Hunter Root. This episode is sponsored by Inglewood Brewing. And now your hosts, Daniel Kime and Alan McCutcheon.
Welcome to another episode of the Central Pennsylvania Music Podcast. I'm your host, Daniel.
And I'm your co-host, Alan. Today's first guest is one of the most well-known country music radio personalities on air, Nancy Ryan.
And our second guest is local recent breakout musician, Hunter Root.
Let's get right to it.
We are here with Nancy Ryan. Nancy, thank you so much for coming out and joining us on the show today.
Yes,
Thank you. It's a real pleasure. And normally Newman would be with me, so it's just not about Nancy Ryan today.
Well, today,
Okay, we can.
I think it's going to be about Nancy Ryan today.
Okay.
So, yeah, Nancy, you have quite the name for yourself in this area, and I mean that in the best way. I mean, you are known for everything that you do radio-wise. I mean, you have relationships with like top country artists.
Yeah.
You're also responsible for helping emerging country artists.
Yeah.
The whole reason you're here, we want to know who's Nancy. What makes Nancy? Where did Nancy start?
Nancy started in Charleston, West Virginia, and this is so funny. I was the paper girl for the general manager of the radio station, like the big radio station in town. I was, 14, 15 years old. And when I turned 16, he said, why don't you come down to the radio station? You've got your driver's license. We'd love to have you be like the road person, out on the road, chasing down, people that have the bumper sticker on their car and a prize patrol kind of thing.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. And then by the time I was a senior in high school, I got to do the all-night shift. The only thing I had to do was promise him that I would graduate from high school because I would work all night and then go drag my butt into school, into class.
Oh, my gosh.
So
That's
God.
dedication.
it
Yeah.
was. And even I learned early on that the sacrifices that you make for something that you love. And I went to my prom, and my program director said, I'll stay on the air till 2 a.m. for you because I did the all-night shift. And he stayed on, and I had
You got
fun
to
at the
actually
prom,
enjoy
and I
your
went
prom.
to work.
Wait,
That's
so you got
awesome.
done at prom and then went to work?
Yes.
Oh, my
Isn't that
goodness.
crazy?
You really love this industry,
Oh
don't
my
you?
gosh. Like there's nothing like it. Just like with the podcasting, you have to really love it to be able to show up, on a random Saturday afternoon.
Yeah,
and do it.
It's something we love to do, and it's great because we get to meet awesome people like you
Oh, thanks.
and the musicians that come on here, and just talk to people about our special community here in
Yes.
Central Pennsylvania, which actually kind of leads me back into what we were talking about. So you started in Virginia, then you moved to Pennsylvania.
Yes, West Virginia. West
I'm
by
sorry,
God.
Sorry, West
Yes,
Virginia.
yes.
Sorry,
Yeah,
don't
There's
want
a
don't
difference.
disrespect her.
Sorry.
Do not disrespect her. I'm just kidding.
Sorry.
Difference, yes.
So you moved to Pennsylvania and you
Yes.
got into radio up here as well. Then
Yes.
awesome. And
Radio has been my only love, my only career path. That's all I've ever done. And from the moment I started, I never needed a resume to get a job. And it was funny. I went from Capital City in Charleston, West Virginia, to Capital City, Harrisburg for a short time. I worked with a guy named Todd, and we went out to Columbus, Ohio, and it was okay out there. Then we came back.
Yep.
But it's funny, though. The going away party when we left to go to Columbus, Ohio, I met my husband, and then I'm like. I thought I'd tortured every guy in this town when I was single, and I'm like, well, I've got Columbus to try now. And then I was dating my husband, Brad, and I moved back a year and a half later, and then we got married a year later. And, the radio station that I was on for many years, and then Newman came along to work with me. Todd went away, and Newman came on. And it was a dream partnership because we didn't interview each other. They opened up the door and kicked him in and said, let's make this work. And
That's awesome.
It was the best thing ever.
oh
Yeah.
my gosh, and that's how the Nancy and Newman show came to be.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so just for some of our listeners, they might recognize the name. They might be thinking there's a connection. So you were formerly with Bob 94.9.
Yes, correct.
And
Yes.
now you have moved over to Froggy,
Yes.
correct?
Froggy 100.1.
100.1.
Yes.
So how is that going? Like, what is the difference here? What's the dynamic? How would you explain or how would you describe your experience here on Froggy? 101?
It's a great family. It really is. It's like the Froggy Valley family. My Froggy Valley is the where you go, the app where you go to get us because we're located physically in Lebanon, and so it's Lebanon Valley. But they have their sites on Central Pennsylvania as well. So kind of including it all. So instead of it being Lebanon Valley and Central Pennsylvania, it's Froggy Valley. And it's really a lot of fun.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
That's
Okay.
amazing.
Yeah. And so I was out of radio for 3 years.
Only 3 years. Out of
3 years was, I thought I would never get back into radio.
Really?
I really thought, wow, I wanted to live here. I love Central Pennsylvania.
Mhm.
And when I got kind of kicked to the curb at the end of 2020, which 2020 sucked enough, you
Yeah.
know?
2020 was rough.
And we made it through
Mhm.
to December 8th, and that's the day I got let go. And
my
and they
goodness.
they pushed Newman to the afternoon, brought in a syndicated morning show, so it's not, you know, this is you guys know, this is a local town.
Mhm.
People love their local personalities, their
They do.
local air talent.
People don't like change.
They don't.
They do
I mean,
not.
it was seriously like taking people's favorite cup of coffee, taking it away, and giving lemon juice. That's what it was like. That's the way I felt in my heart.
Yeah.
But I have to say, guys, because I was embarrassed when I got let go, because I'm like, I never got let go in my life, you know?
Yeah.
And you always get back what you give to a community. And I worked for LB Smith and did endorsements for their cars and trucks.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And they asked me if I continue working for them as a social media person, doing their commercials, things like that.
Yeah.
And I thought, I went home and I said to my husband, I think we're going to be okay. And then Linda Johnston from Renewal by Anderson,
Mm-hmm.
the window company.
Oh, yeah,
That's how
yeah.
you're going. Oh, that's how I think I know you. Yeah. So Linda
How it's all
asked
come
me,
together. Okay.
Yeah, Linda asked me. She said, "Would you want to come do commercials with me?" And I said, "Hell yes." You know?
Absolutely.
And then another company, and so these are people that I've worked with for the past 3 years. Home to Stay is a nursing company. Patty Fife and her daughter Abby own it. Shout out to them, because those are the people that like gave me a purpose back.
That's
you know?
awesome.
And it was immediate. And the great thing is, when Seven Mountains Media came sniffing around because they bought the Lebanon stations,
Mm-hmm.
Newman and I stayed friends. Like, he's my brother, truly my brother. And we started doing Facebook Lives together because we weren't finished
Yeah.
doing what we love to do.
You guys had a chemistry that you knew worked.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And the nice thing is, it didn't die. In 3 years, you just think that's an eternity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And he loved the company that he works for. He's right over the Pennsylvania border in Olean, New York.
Okay.
And he's on a station. He's the operations manager, and the station is the Big Pig, Sizzling Country, and he looks like Porky Pig, which is hysterical. And he kept telling me about a great company he worked for. And then they bought the Lebanon stations, and they wanted Newman on. And this was just last year in 2023. And he said, well, if I go on, just because people know me, they're going to say, where's Nancy? Nancy and Newman, it's always that. And they said, well, let's talk to Nancy. Literally just this fall. And it just happened that quickly. And the
That's
first thing I did was
awesome.
talk to Linda, because we do so much community work
Yeah.
here with Renewal. I said, will you be cool with me doing that? Like, I can do everything that I've done, but I'll just get up a little bit earlier in the morning.
Yeah.
And she loves Newman. So she's like, yes.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, and we announced it on January 8th. We went on January 15th. And it was like when Newman went on the air after they let me go in 2020. And we've always been transparent. We shared our lives with people like they shared their lives with us. And it went crazy on the internet. Like, I couldn't believe social media. People were like, what are you saying? You're taking our family away from us.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, 3 years later, it was like, everything's right with the world. People
Mhm.
believe in Santa Claus again. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Up is up and down is down.
But literally, guys, that's the comment that we got. And like, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
And even Newman's wife said, I look over at him sometimes and he's just smiling for no reason. It's because we got back together. Isn't
That's
that crazy?
That's beautiful.
I know.
That is
Oh
that,
my
that is
gosh.
awesome. Like 100%.
I know.
So now that we know that journey, I gotta ask. I'm gonna dive more into like the
Sure.
music side. You've been doing radio for so long.
Your entire lives, both of you. Not combined, but both of you
both,
for sure.
Yes. What has the experience been like from when you started to now? Like,
Yes.
that's got to be such a huge difference.
When I got started, it was in adult contemporary radio when I
Okay.
was in West Virginia. And I remember telling my parents, because they loved country music, I was like, I will never work in country music.
How'd that shoe taste?
That's what my dad always said. And you know, the first people I met that came to Charleston, the AM station was a country station, and I met Randy Owen from Alabama. He's a lead singer, which, by the way, they're coming to Giant Center.
Yeah,
Okay.
They are.
Very soon.
Yep.
Yep. And then I met Charlie Daniels. oh my God, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I didn't have anything to do with interviewing them. I just was in awe of how kind they were. We never met pop artists. Pop artists don't do the tour.
Yeah.
They don't do anything like that. And then I moved up to Pennsylvania, and we went. I was with WRKZ for Z107 with Todd, and then we went away to Columbus, Ohio, and then came back. And Dame Media was the family. They said, we have this new station coming on the air the day after Christmas in 1996, and they wanted Todd and Nancy on, and that's how that started.
Yeah.
And then things didn't work out with him, and then they brought Newman on, and I tell you, the artists are, country artists come around to radio stations.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, who do you think's the biggest country artist right now?
Morgan Wallen.
Probably him or like Zach Bryan right now. He's blowing up.
Yeah, like, are we talking like current the most popular or like the most popular like overall?
Like, are we talking
Okay.
up and coming or like
Name a few of them.
I don't know, Keith Urban.
Keith Urban, yeah.
Toby Keith.
Um,
Garth Brooks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, we know them all.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we knew them all from when they first came through the door. Morgan Wallen, we're like, he's the sweetest kid. I think he was maybe on The Voice.
He was,
And
yeah.
he came in, he had his long hair, and we always said he was like Boomhauser from one of the
King of the Hill.
Yeah, because he mumbled all the time. We're like, Morgan, you got to open your mouth up. And,
Awesome.
and then he would call me. He's like, listen, hey, Nancy, I'm opening up for Florida Georgia Line at the stadium. I'm like, I'm sorry, Morgan. I was going somewhere. I mean, I had plans, or
Yeah.
I would have gone because I wanted to see him on a big stage. But like to think, we had dinner with them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can we pause?
Yeah,
Look,
pause.
Morgan
Pause.
Wallen was calling your phone saying, "Hey, come see me."
Oh, he's texting me. I still have his number.
Oh my god,
You're
Isn't that
kidding
crazy?
me.
No.
That's
Oh my
awesome.
God,
I'm not
dude.
kidding. I mean,
He's played to like sold out theaters and
Oh,
everything.
right?
Dude, he's like probably the biggest country star right now. Like,
I know.
dude.
Okay, so I have to tell you this quick story.
Okay.
This was a few years ago. I'm going to say, I'm trying to think how old my daughter is. And he was playing at a place called the Rusty Rudder in Rehoboth Beach.
Okay.
And we go to Rehoboth Beach all the time. And he called me and said, hey, we're going to be there in March. Can you come to the show? So it's going to be a smaller show. And we always went to the Rudder. I never knew they had like a room, like a big room where they had a show.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, that'd be great. This is off season. I'm like, nobody's going to go to this show. I started feeling bad. So I get my daughter, her best friend. So they're maybe 16. I get one of our former interns, Brandy. And I said, we're coming, Morgan. Let's go to dinner beforehand. Because I'm like, nobody's going to be at this show. I felt really bad.
Yeah.
So we go to dinner. My daughter and her friend, Bella, are, sitting right across from him. He's such a nice guy. And they didn't know who he was because he wasn't.
Yeah,
Mm.
he
He wasn't the Morgan Wallen you know now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yep.
And then he said something about writing with Post Malone or somebody like that. And the girls went, what? You know Post Malone? Yeah. Because he's an amazing songwriter.
Yes.
Morgan Wallen, but obviously Post Malone too.
Yeah, I mean, just look at his album that he
I
just
know.
dropped with like 23 songs. And I remember someone asked him, like, why wouldn't you split that up into like 2 albums? Because that's a lot to drop on one. And he was like, he's like, I'm not worried about it.
He's got a ton
He
more.
has
Yeah.
so many songs written
Right?
already. Yeah.
So, yeah. I just love him. He's a
That's-
super guy.
That is awesome.
I know,
because
and he was
I'm-
getting a bad
I'm
rap for a
also
while.
super
Yeah.
huge fan right now. Like I'm just like he's the country artist that got me into country. I'm not gonna lie. And I mean I know I sound like a stereotypical dude. Like
you
I
don't.
never liked country.
Yeah.
I was always metal. I was always like
Yeah.
heavy metal, like that kind of
Wow.
stuff. It's like I'm never gonna listen to country. And then I heard Morgan Wallen, and I think he just does something perfect because he has that old timey twang to his voice, but his instrumental is so new. It's such new country, and he does like rapping too, like on some of these songs, like Broadway Girls. I love that song, Broadway
I
Girls.
know.
It's so good, and it works. And I was like, dude, forget it. I was like, Morgan Wallen made me a country fan. And I was like, and from then I branched out to other artists.
Yeah, Alan
But-
came in here one day. He was like, "Hey, you guys heard of this guy Morgan Wallen?" And next thing you know, he had cowboy boots on. It was crazy.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, but so Morgan Wallen, you obviously know him.
Yeah.
That's cool. We're gonna talk more about that off camera.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
But moving on from there, I mean, so we gotta ask, because we always ask every guest, especially someone that has the radio personality. You've been deep dived into the music industry for a while, and you've also been in the radio industry in multiple different areas.
Mhm.
But there is something about Central Pennsylvania
Yes.
that
Yes.
there is just never ending talent. I mean, you have an endless name of artists, bands, musicians, solo artists, whatever you have it,
Yes.
that just comes from Central PA. What is your opinion? What do you think makes Central Pennsylvania so special, in your own opinion, from your perspective?
what makes Central Pennsylvania so special.
About the music.
The music
like,
industry.
that comes out, like how we just have such a music presence.
I don't know what it is. I just know it is, you know?
I
Like,
love that answer, honestly.
I mean, but truly, like Jess Zimmerman, Olivia Faribault,
Yep.
Ben Gallagher. I've known Ben Gallagher since he was a kid. His mom and I are friends. You know, I saw him come up through high school. And I remember the first time I saw him on stage, because he plays the guitar like shredding. You know, he's got this new song called Stomp.
Yes.
And it started because he was just stomping to the beat, and then he had to write a song to go with it because it was catching on, it was like a viral sensation. But I remember seeing him up there, and I looked at Newman, and I said, if Brad Paisley and Keith Urban had a kid, it would be Ben Gallagher.
Yeah. Wow. That's a great way.
That's a
of
very
putting it.
good summary. Yeah. God, Nancy, I want another 15 minutes with you.
You can have it. You can have it.
Oh my God. But that's crazy. So I mean, I love the honesty though of that, because like sometimes people just don't know, but like it's true. Like there just is. There is something special about Central PA.
Yes.
And whatever it is, we just hope it doesn't stop.
I don't think it's going to.
I don't
I
think
don't think it's going to
I
either.
think the artists encourage each other so much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, we had Ben on with us. I think it was our first week. We've only been on the air a few weeks. You know, but it already seems like almost a lifetime that we're catching back.
Mm-hmm.
January 29th was our 20th anniversary of working together with a 3-year little layover. You know,
That's awesome.
but to be able to celebrate that was
Yeah.
really awesome. But we love our local artists, and we love when they start winning awards. And, you know, Olivia and her husband moved down to Nashville. Jess is not far behind.
No, she's not.
You know, I mean, Jillian Smith. I mean,
She's
oh my
awesome.
gosh.
She's
Oh
also
my
awesome.
And what I
gosh.
really love are these strong women that are finding their way.
Yeah.
Because in 2023, I think Lainey Wilson was about the only female that was really getting the hits.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not sure what happened with Maren Morris. She went off the rails, and she doesn't want to be in country music anymore,
Yeah.
which is a shame because, you know, when you're hungry for it, the country fans are the best fans you'll ever have in the world.
Yeah.
You know?
I have noticed that. I have noticed that between the different genres, like the country fans are just, they're like a different breed. And I mean that like in a good way.
Oh,
like,
sure. The country music fans are so devoted no matter what. I mean, we saw that. They could have easily, the listeners here in our area could have easily gone off and found something else. And some of them are saying, you know what, I'm getting rid of Sirius Radio. Like they were so disappointed about what happened, just like we were, that they just went and found something else to do. And now they're saying, oh my God.
She's back.
The world is spinning again. You're like, so where did you fall in love with country music? Because you said before, like you told your parents, like, oh yeah, I would never work in country music.
Right.
It's pretty obvious now that you've fallen in love with it.
Yeah, it's the artist.
It's just the art.
Oh
Well,
my
not
gosh.
just the, but it's the artist.
It is the artist.
Yes.
But that, I mean, when you meet them, and it's funny because if you played the newlywed game with me and Newman after we've been working together all this time, if you play that game with us, we know each other so well. And somebody asked us who was the most impressive person that we ever met that we got to interview, and it was Kenny Rogers.
Oh my goodness.
That's
Right?
awesome.
That's
When
amazing.
he came walking up to us, and they're all so kind. You know, Vince Gill came walking around the corner, and hey y'all, let's chat.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Darius Rucker at the Palm in Nashville, and he came walking out. He had met us one time, but I think because we were a tag team, you know, people would recognize us together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Man, how you guys doing?" And even if they don't remember your name, they remember your face. They remember a conversation that you had.
That's awesome.
You know,
Mhm.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
And Keith Urban, we had at a birthday bash at the Zembo, and he was the first act on. He just had his guitar with him, and he came on and blew us away. Keith Urban.
When was this?
Like 2021.
2021. Wow.
No, 21.
I'm sorry, 2000.
2001.
I was gonna say,
2001.
okay.
so this is
Yeah,
like right around
2001.
like Golden Road era.
Yeah,
basically.
I was like, what?
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh my
2001.
goodness.
Yes, because that's when my daughter was born. And Eric Church, he came. He was one of the first guys on when people were coming through the doors.
Mhm.
And I remember he was up in my face saying, "My music is gonna be so amazing." I'm like, "Space here, space."
Yeah,
space.
Relax. Pump the brakes,
Space.
buddy.
Turn it down a
Pump the
notch.
brakes.
But right there, I mean, yeah, it's really crazy.
Have you ever?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No,
ahead.
go.
No. Have you ever met Trace Atkins?
Oh my God, yes.
He's so nice. I've never
Yes.
personally met him. I saw his Christmas special at the Gaylord Grand Old Opry in Nashville. Amazing.
He's a big man.
Oh, yes. Yes.
he is.
Yes, he's a big
He
man.
is, and he's so sweet. And our daughter was little when one of the first times he came around. And I remember telling him that she had fallen off the horse, and we were talking, 'cause he has all girls, and we had not bought her a horse yet. And Newman's like, she needs to buy a horse. They need to get her a horse. And he said, what you need to do is wait till she's about 15 or 16 when the boys come sniffing around. He said, then buy her a horse, and she won't have time. That's what we did. Right? Brilliant. I know. It's the
Oh
truth.
my gosh.
You got
Atkins.
parenting advice from Trace Atkins. That's a whole
That
nother
is
level.
amazing.
Yeah. Girl dad advice from, yes.
That's amazing.
Nancy, I gotta say, I really wish we could have another 15 minutes with you.
It's okay.
You're
Got to make room for Hunter. Yeah.
We do got to
Yes.
make room for Hunter. But Nancy, thank you so much
Yeah.
for taking the time,
Oh my gosh.
sitting down with us. I want to have you on again. We're
Please
gonna
do.
have you
I'd
on
love to
again.
have
at
Bring
another
Newman
time.
with you too.
Yes.
Yes, and bring Newman. Yeah, we'll make it a special or something.
Yeah.
We'll do something
Okay.
just to. They're back.
Can I tell you one story? Because it was awesome.
Absolutely.
I know, time's ticking, I know. But Garth Brooks had been around since we got started when the radio station went on the air.
Yes.
Never met him. It was 2010, I think. And never met him. He was kind of doing his comeback.
Yeah.
And he flew me and Newman and a couple of other morning shows from around the country to Dallas. And we got to broadcast, we did, from the 50-yard line of the Cowboy Stadium, right? I hadn't met him. I'd never met Garth. We talked to him on the phone. Every time I talked to him, I'd say, I have never met you. And he said, we got to fix that, huh? We got to fix that. And we had a couple of drinks because we were waiting. We were in Jerry Jones' box, which is like a restaurant,
Yeah.
And Newman and I are going up to say hi to Garth. Newman and I had already met him. And I said hello, and I started crying. I started crying. What? I was so overwhelmed. And he's like, oh, darling, that's okay, And then I got my act together. And it was great. We had a nice conversation. And then the next morning, he comes down. We're broadcasting from the 50-yard line of the Cowboy Stadium. And he says, you're not going to cry, are you? Like, you're okay? You're over that now? I'm like, dude, sit your butt down. Let's go.
I'm a strong, independent woman. That was a one-off. You leave me alone.
Thank you. So I just had to tell you that.
That
'cause
is awesome.
It's amazing.
Thank
so,
you for sharing that.
oh yes,
Oh my God.
thank you. And I've
Nancy-
had a blessed life and we're back. That's what I can't believe we're back. It's the most exciting thing.
That's
So
great.
I'm just gonna need to live vicariously through you.
You may.
A couple other times.
Okay.
Off camera.
Okay.
But Nancy, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
taking the time.
Thank you.
Sitting
Thank
down with
you.
us.
Yes.
It was incredible. But
Thank you.
coming up, we got Hunter Root.
Yep.
Wait.
Alan, I think you would agree that was a great conversation we had with Nancy.
Oh my God! From all the celebrities she's met to just her personality, I would love to sit down and talk with her again.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, it was just the amount of work she's done and helped out our local community. It was great to have the opportunity to sit and speak with her.
100%. And without further ado, let's sit down with Hunter Root. And we're sitting down with Hunter Root. Hunter, thank you so much for taking the time, coming out here, sitting down with us. We just want to know your story, man. I mean, you're involved in Medusa's Disco. We just recently found out you have your own podcast as well. I mean, dude, just hit us from the beginning.
Yeah.
Where did Hunter start?
Yeah, first off, thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate
course.
Of course, thank you.
it. Yeah, so I started playing guitar and drums when I was 12 because my older brother played. And then we played in school a little bit, but it wasn't until 18 until I started playing out.
Okay.
And that was with the band. It was called Seeds at the time. Now it's called Medusa's Disco. And
Kind of has a pretty big following behind that name.
Yeah. Like we've done well locally and like regionally. So I got most of my chops in that band. That band still exists.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been like 10 years strong.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the middle of that, I started releasing solo music.
Okay.
I think that was 2018. And I always kind of had like an acoustic, like bedroom feel, I would call it. I don't know.
All right, I like
just
that.
like singer-songwriter thing, you
Yeah.
know. But it wasn't coming out in the psychedelic rock band that was Medusa's Disco.
Yeah.
Or is. So yeah, I started releasing solo music, and then in just this past year, it took off. So now that's what I'm focusing on now, the solo stuff.
awesome, man.
and that's pretty much where I am now.
And you really took off this summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your one song. My goodness, I'm gonna mess. What was the song that went viral?
Town Rat Heathen.
Town Rat Heat. I
Yeah.
had the words, didn't have them in order.
Yeah,
Yep.
people will mix up the order a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a mouthful, but like in a good way, though. It's, it's very easy to jumble it up, but I do. Yeah,
It's 3 words you probably haven't heard together before.
So how did that start? What Town Rat Heathen? How did that explode? What happened there?
Yeah. So I would say like the premeditation for it was like a frustration with not being as far as I wanted to be in music.
Okay.
So I started like grinding online with TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
And then like 2 years in, so I was just like shooting like originals, kind of just like playing to the camera with the lyrics, just like seeing what other artists were doing.
Yep.
That was probably like, who knows, just a rough estimate. Maybe the 40th song, 50th song, I just like threw at TikTok. It was like a 20-second like verse of the first verse of Town Rat Heathen, and that got like 500,000 views.
What was that like, waking up and seeing that?
It was like that, yeah, because I would do something. Joe Rogan calls it posting and ghosting. So I would post and not look at it, so I just wait till the next day. Yeah, I woke up the next day and it had like 250,000 views.
Oh my god.
And I was like, you literally like I would do the same thing every day, just like before I open the app and just like praying it's the one.
That's
Literally
awesome.
every time. Just
Every
like, oh, I
time.
hope it's the one, and it literally was, and I was like, I'm dying.
That's awesome, man.
My brain melted. And then I just watched it for like the next few days, and then I just started recording it right then and there. Luckily, I had the song finished already.
So you
like,
had the
or I
song.
could play through it by myself.
Yeah.
And then so I was like, oh, I can record it now. Recorded it in a few days and released it in like, I think it took a couple weeks, and then it came out, and then slowly got. I think it started at like 1,000 plays a day, and then it was like 10,000 plays a day, and then now it's up to like 3 million streams on Spotify.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So
Oh
you
my
you
God.
you released this on TikTok without the whole song being recorded.
Yeah.
So you probably had hundreds of thousands of people in the comments like, where do I find this song
Yeah,
right
I
now?
did. Yeah.
Oh my! So was it a grind trying to get that song out the way you wanted it, but in time
Yeah.
to strike while the iron's hot?
Yeah, exactly. Thankfully, like I do all the recording and instrumentation myself, so I could like recorded it in like 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
You were
Yeah.
like, okay, I got to do this now.
Yeah.
Put the
This
phone
is
on
my
do,
time.
do not disturb on the phone and just focus, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was like the best time because you like just knowing it was going to be released to more people than I'd ever released music to.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's awesome.
What's that feeling like, knowing you've reached that many people?
Yeah, it's literally can't put it into words. It's just the ultimate satisfaction. Like I always think of like it's satisfying your 12-year-old self.
Yeah.
Is the only way I can put it.
Yeah.
The
Just a
things that you
long-
dreamed about,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
it's happening.
Yeah. And even if it's not like the whole entire thing, like, I'm not playing on like, I'm not on Conan or anything, but like the amount of like, what's the word? It's not coming. Exposure, but it's validation.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. It's like as much as you don't want to admit it, you're like out there to get some validation. You want people to like your music.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So the amount of validation is overwhelming as hell. It's so overwhelming. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the best way.
So where do we go from here, man? What's
Yeah.
next?
So when does this podcast come out?
Be a couple weeks from
yeah,
now.
be a couple weeks from now.
Yeah, cool. So like literally just like this past week, I guess I signed a deal. Not really, didn't sign it technically yet, but I finally landed a booking agent, Wasserman. I don't know if anybody knows them. They're
Off the top of my
freaking
head.
huge. They're
Okay.
huge. They have like every name you could imagine. Like just like the bigger names are like Cage the Elephant, Drake.
Oh my god.
J, Tyler Childers,
What?
Billy
Wow.
Strings, Sam Barber. I don't know, like all kinds of names. They're huge, absolutely huge. I think they're based out of London. So yeah, I just landed that. So like,
Dude.
up until now, I've been literally the whole time I've been booking by myself, and it's such a drag.
Oh my god.
But now it's like I'm hopefully gonna get like real tours, like with real good looks.
So Hunter Root is
Yeah.
hitting the road.
Yeah, like for real. this
Like for
time.
real,
Oh
like
my
like,
God.
like Hunter. We're getting Hunter Root before you turn into Hunter Root.
I think so. I hope so.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's dope, man.
Yeah,
That's awesome, man. Dude, congratulations.
Yeah,
Thank
seriously,
you.
congratulations.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's-
that's awesome.
Yeah, you guys caught me at like the most exciting time.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm excited through
Yeah.
you.
Yes.
Like
Awesome.
that's awesome, man.
Oh my
So-
God, we'll definitely have to come out and catch a show then. As well.
Absolutely,
Totally,
man.
yeah,
that's
yeah.
awesome. So I mean that's not just like a door that's opened.
Yeah.
That's a floodgate
Yeah,
of
man.
opportunity that has
It
opened
is.
for you.
Yeah.
How are you navigating that? Like what's going through your mind right now? Like what is your
Yeah.
goal? I mean, if you don't want to say specifics because in case they listen, that's fine. But like, how are you navigating this right now, man?
Yeah, I mean, thankfully, like right before this, I also got managers for the first time. Ed and Matt, shout out to Ed and Matt. So like they're like the best, and like all they want to do is they just try to remove everything from my plate so I can just be a musician,
That's awesome.
which like I've never experienced in my life.
Yeah.
Like, this day and age, like
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys even doing the podcast, like anybody doing any business by themselves knows like they have to wear like a million hats
yes.
to do it.
What
like,
you see is 10% of the real.
Yeah,
world.
exactly.
You're
Yeah,
seeing
yeah.
the tip of the iceberg right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like I'm slowly taking off the hats because of the managers, and like
That's
even though
awesome.
stuff is like filling my plate, it's just not like overwhelming to the point where it's like I have to figure out the logistics,
Yeah.
Mm.
So I'm just
Because
like,
that's what can burn you out real quick.
yeah, exactly. So like, I mean, it like it's also really fresh, and it just happened a few days ago, so it's like still sinking in.
Yeah.
But right now, it just I feel good about it. Like my head's still above the water. I'm just excited.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah, and looking forward to the tours.
That's
awesome.
amazing. And now
Yeah.
on the tour coming up, you're going to be pushing the new album, Arkansas,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's gonna be focused. Like, so the whole tour is gonna be focused on a relaunch of Arkansas, because I didn't get to like, I guess like, do it with any like PR. Like now I have a PR guy, so I'm like paying for that and stuff. Yeah, so like the whole team
is that
built-
weird to say?
Yeah, it's so weird. Yeah,
I have a PR guy
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
What's that about? I don't know, but I have one.
yeah, exactly. The truest statement, dude. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it feels great. And so I won't be launching it myself, and hopefully I'll get like legitimate press.
That's
Maybe.
awesome, man.
Probably.
Probably. I mean, we hope.
I'm paying for it.
I better see results. I better see results. Damn it. Like,
No, I'm sure it will. Like everyone I'm working with, like the managers and stuff, they all are like psyched to jump on it because it's in its infancy and it's doing so well.
yeah.
Yes.
Like everyone's blown away by that.
So I gotta ask then. I mean, because the floodgates are open.
Yeah.
So all the possibilities are there.
Yeah.
If you had your choice, who would your first tour be? Like if you dream sheet,
Oh yeah.
who would your dream sheet tour be?
So like
first one out the
to
door.
open with or open for?
To open for it, dude. If we're talking dream sheet, open for you.
Oh.
Either one, whichever way you want to go.
Oh yeah. No, I was thinking about who. Like I keep dreaming about who I'm going to be opening for, because I think that's like what the next step of my career is.
Sure, absolutely.
And like to me, it doesn't have to be like, I'm not like looking for the biggest artist necessarily. Maybe like a happy medium, a big artist who I love, and that's pretty obvious to me. Definitely Tyler Childers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's my man.
Yeah.
He's the dude who got me. Well, actually, Billy Strings got me into country music, but I know he doesn't have openers.
Okay. Yeah.
But Tyler Childers is kind of. I think he might be a slightly better fit anyway, because Billy's more bluegrass.
Yeah.
But I know Tyler's on the same agency and stuff, so I'm
Dude.
hoping in that's my dream.
And that would be
Yeah.
That would be
amazing.
awesome, man.
Yeah, I think that's within the realms. Yeah.
Dude, I'm excited. I have goosebumps right now.
Nice.
Like, that's
Yes.
awesome, dude. Like I'm excited for you. Can I
So
come
good.
with?
We'll be your
Sure,
merch
man,
guys.
I'm
We
gonna
got
Yeah, we'll
you.
be your
right
merch
now.
guy, dude. Like, check out our podcast. Check out his podcast. Check out all the podcasts. Here's a T-shirt. Take a sticker for the road. Like, no, that is awesome, man. I mean, really, you are like on the cusp of like, dude, like the world's your oyster right now. The
Yeah.
sky's the limit, man.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and I guess another question kind of tying into that is,
Yeah.
is there any venues out there that you're like, you're dead set on, you're like, I want to play this
That's a good
venue
question,
someday?
Yeah. Immediately, Red Rocks popped in my head. I feel like that one's obvious. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see a show there. I want to play a show there. I'm trying to think if there's any other ones that jump out.
That's the one it's like in the canyons, right? Like
Yeah.
the canyons surround.
Yeah.
It's at like what, New Mexico, Arizona. What is it?
Colorado.
Colorado. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
a beautiful
beautiful.
venue.
It's like an
I've only ever
amphitheater,
seen
right?
pictures.
Yeah, amphitheater.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
We need one of those here.
Yeah, we do.
We just
like
need
an East Coast one?
years
Yeah.
of erosion and canyons to turn into an amphitheater.
I mean, like not like an all natural one. But, like I went to one in DC actually this past summer. It was awesome. Like I
That's
just
cool.
set one up in a park right on like a creek, and they built it. It was beautiful.
Oh,
we need,
that's cool.
we need
That's
something like that out here. Yeah.
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 We did Medusa did the Dam Show or Dam Stock, I think it was called then. It's in Austin, PA,
Okay.
where the Austin Dam was that broke. I don't know if you
Oh,
guys know
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
history.
Okay, I remember hearing about that. Yeah.
The big dam is still there, and they put they do a show there, like down in the valley.
Oh, that's
pretty
awesome. The
badass.
acoustics have got to
Exactly,
be
it's
like
incredible.
insane.
That's
like,
wild.
Mini
That's
little.
cool,
Yeah.
dude. That's. I'm like floored right now because like dude, I knew who you were. I knew you're obviously having some success right now, but I didn't know the extent. So like it's still kind of like hitting me that I'm sitting here with you, like you said, in the exact
Don't
moment
forget us, please.
Oh,
that's happening for you. So like that's just like
That's awesome.
I can be prepped,
Yeah.
but like I'm not prepped for that when that information's laid on me. So I'm just like, okay, like this is like just there's so many questions like flooding through my head right now.
That's fair. Me too.
He's like, I don't know what to do with my hands right now. I'm Ricky Bobbying right now. Like,
Dude, yeah, it's all up in the air.
Oh my God, I know, right? And kind of like what you were saying with like the floodgates being wide open. Now seeing this open realm of opportunity, does the sky just feel limitless at this point, or do you see like the next stepping stones you want to take? Of course, we've talked about the bands you want to open for, but like now that you see, wow, this is real, it's in front of me, it's tangible. What are you thinking now next?
Yeah, good question, man. That kind of reminds me of what we were talking about before we started rolling. I think I want to like protect the ownership of my music
for sure.
going forward, and then when I project myself when I'm like 50 years from now, that's what I'm thinking about. It's like I want to own my music, and I think that like before that, I just really wanted to make it in music, like do music and not have to work. I didn't need to be as successful as I am now. Even
Yeah.
I just wanted to be able to play music and not have to work a regular job. Now I think I'm past that point, so like my mind started dreaming slightly bigger. It was like, okay, you can open up now.
You had to adapt.
Yeah,
Yep.
so I had to adapt. So yeah, now I was like, and like when I first went viral, I had like I flew out to L.A. and like met
Dope.
with Atlantic,
Okay.
and everybody thought I had signed with Atlantic, or that was the rumor, but I ended up not doing that. I never saw a deal actually. It was never on the table actually.
Okay. So we're clearing up rumors right now.
Yeah, exactly. Just so
Okay.
everybody knows. Yeah. And I'm not gonna pretend like I had a deal or anything. There was never a deal. They were
Okay.
just like, I think they just wanted to know like where I was at with things, and I like went and talked to him, and I was just like, hey, it's just me. And then I don't think they
Hi,
had-
Atlantic Records.
Yeah.
I'm Hunter.
They were like, what's the team like? And I'm like, and then I
You're
don't
looking
think,
at it.
Yeah, I think they kind of waited for the thing to develop more.
Okay.
So so like that led me into like I like kind of chased them a little bit, and then I regretted that, fell back into doing my own thing again, and then all this started happening with like the managers and the booking agency. Now the thing has opened up, and I'm just worried about like not going insane. Yeah. 'cause,
Valid.
Like, yeah. Like now that I know, I think it's gonna happen. I just want to like not say yes to everything, or like just be smart about it. And
Dude, I think the way you said it the first time is very smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not saying yes to everything because
yeah. So like, and then which is kind of goes along with like not falling into like a record deal I don't want to do, or just like anything like that, to just not just get like memorized by the whole thing. Like really, I just like want to step to the simplicity of like I just want to make music for the rest of my life and like sustain myself and like be comfortable. I don't want to deal with bullshit
Yeah.
with labels and owning and like music. I want to keep that to a minimum. So I just like I think I'm really just focused on like being really successful without like getting
Selling
lost in the
yourself.
sauce. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
absolutely.
Just kind of a
man.
simple man, honestly.
Yeah,
you
just
know?
stick to the simple man aspect. Yeah.
I feel like, dude, as long as you stick to that, like as long as you stick
Yeah.
to true to who you are,
Yep.
I think you're gonna be fine, man. But I think I already think you. I mean, we're not anywhere close to the situation that you're at right now. But my opinion is the fact that you already took off the rose-colored glasses immediately. Like you looked through them, you're like, "Holy crap, this looks awesome!" And you took them off immediately to keep yourself grounded. That was a very smart move.
Yeah.
Like looking at
Sure.
it strategically and analytically is very smart, and just staying true to you. And dude, I hope the best for you, man. Like
Thank you.
that is I don't think you really need my hope, but
Hey,
still,
I appreciate it.
absolutely,
Man,
really
everyone's
do.
out for
Thank you.
support here, man. I mean, seriously, it's so great to see musicians like yourself being humble and true to themselves and not jumping on the first thing that appears in front of them, you know?
Yeah.
It's really good to stay true to yourself. And, man, if you're already going this far right now, I can't wait to see what's in the future for you, you know? That's so exciting.
I gotta ask this
I'm
question
excited, too.
only. I mean, I know we're out of time right now, but
Yeah.
I don't know if we're ever gonna have this specific of an opportunity again.
Sure.
Like we say on every guest, we like to ask every guest, what do they think is special about Central PA and the music scene regarding it? And we're sitting down with one of the local musicians that is currently, I would safely say, you're going through your breakthrough moment. I don't know if we're ever gonna have that moment again. So as a breakthrough artist right now that's currently going through it, what do you think is special about this area? What do you think makes it special? And there is no wrong answer. We just want to pick your brain.
Yeah. I think, just from my personal experience, I think like the longevity of being in a band, like being in a band for a local band for 10 years is hard, you
For
know,
sure.
and especially if it's not, it's hard to see it if it's going anywhere sometimes, and the community here kind of makes it feel like it's being seen the whole time, even
Yeah.
if it's not being seen by the whole world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's like, so the community is like vibrant enough that as a musician, like as personally, I just, even through the ups and downs, I think the scene is just, it's there enough that it carries you. If you feel like playing music, this scene is there for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's all I can say. So
Bro.
like, you don't have to go anywhere else. You can just be here. I don't think every place has that. So yeah.
That's a valid
That's a
point,
very
man.
good-
Yeah.
And just to clarify, go ahead, man.
No, that was
Just-
good.
Just to clarify, you are up for Central Pennsylvania Music Award nominations as well, correct?
Yeah.
Dude, hit them. Let the fans know what
Yeah,
you're
what-
nominated for.
Oh shoot. What is it?
There's so many.
I think it's 3 or 4. It's Song of the Year, Town Rat Heathen, and Album of the Year for Arkansas.
Okay.
I know Medusa has Rock Band of the Year, and then there's one other solo one I forget.
A singer-songwriter? Or
Maybe it's singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
I think that
Male
sounds right.
vocalist, something. Yeah.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
you're just like hitting all the marks, man.
Yeah, man.
All the marks, dude. I'm excited. I mean, Danny, I'll let you take the next part here.
Man, that's actually what I wanted to ask. So, man, Hunter, thank you so much for your time, man. I hope we covered
Absolutely.
all the bases.
Yeah.
We could talk with you for hours, but I hear we have a live performance coming up from you here next, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
We are so excited for that. Everybody stay tuned for a live performance from Hunter Root. And Hunter, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Yes, thank
guys.
you, man.
It was a real pleasure.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Hunter Root. This song is called Town Rat Heathen. Getting drunk by the figure 8. Figure one more beer ought to set me straight. Young and carefree as a boy could be. Whiskey smokes and LSD. Railroad tracks run along the creek. Walk 'em up and down in the summer heat. Same old boy changing like the seasons. Country kid turning to a town rat heathen. Country kid turning to a town rat heathen. Daddy's in jail for a DUI. Brother's in rehab a second time. Fucked up on salts and spices of all kinds. Legal drugs doing double damage to your mind. There must be greater forces at play. Too big to see and impossible to say. No one alive makes it out unscathed. Aches and scars. Hey, aches and scars. Hey, aches and scars. Hey, aches and scars. Now I think we're even. Country kid turning to a town rat heathen. Getting high by the covered bridge. Granny flying out, gonna flip her lid. Never did go to a high school dance. I was in love with a bad romance. Now I'm 28 with these aches and pains. Pray to the devil now with each complaint. No one alive makes it out unscathed. Aches and scars. Hey, aches and scars. Hey, aches and scars. Hey, aches and scars. 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 Now I think we're even. Country kid turned into a town rat heathen. Country kid turned into a town rat heathen. Country kid turned into a town rat heathen.
I gotta say, Danny, we've said it many times, and I'll say it again. The talking voice did not match the singing voice, but I am not disappointed.
No, man, blown away. Hunter Root is, man, bar none. Dude is an incredible musician, and I'm so blessed that we had the opportunity to sit down and speak with him and get a live performance.
And he's doing so many great things. He has big things coming his way. And we here at the Central Pennsylvania Music Podcast only wish him the best of luck, all the love. And you know what? You always know where to find the next artist right here on our podcast. Until next time.
Stay tuned.